Hey, I'm Ray Parker. I played Darth Maul in Phantom Menace and Solo, A Star Wars Story, and G.I. Joe, Snake Eyes, and you're listening to Disney Universe Podcast.
We would be honored if you would join us.
To infinity and beyond!
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of me.
I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing. That was all started by a mouse.
What is up, everybody? We are back with our final, so sad, Star Wars Month episode of the year. But we are going off with a bang. We got an amazing guest, someone we've been teasing for a little bit. So let's just get right into it. We got Space Mom. We got General Hera Syndulla, Vanessa Marshall. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. It's great to see you. I'm really grateful that we could finally make this work out. There was so much stuff going on, and here we are finally. So yeah,
I found it's very difficult to try to plan a podcast when, a little thing called Star Wars Celebration is happening in Japan. But, right. I figured I'd shoot my shot and it hit the target hit. So, yeah. Very excited.
I thought we were getting catfish for a minute. When he said that he was talking to Vanessa Marshall, I said, "Are you sure? Are you sure?"
Yeah, I'm pretty accessible for those of you in my Star Wars family. We're all pretty close, especially the Heras. I have a cosplay Hera chat link, and man, the mom jeans are a struggle.
Oh yeah,
well,
but
Hera's pants are difficult. It's funny to watch them help each other through that.
Yeah, I've heard that on the podcast, which we will be talking about shortly. I actually do have some of my favorite Hera cosplayers I've ran into at celebrations and.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, in Japan, there was one day where we had a Hera photo shoot, and it was all Heras. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, let me that's cool. That up real quick.
Yeah, there were a bunch of Heras. Yeah, it was amazing. We and so what I do is I send, whatever if I tell them to post the picture, and then I send it to Sam Syndulla, who is Sam is in New York, and the DM chain just grows and grows. So we're just uniting all the Heras everywhere I go.
And that's awesome. And I definitely want to get into this conversation. I'm so excited about this. But of course, I got to introduce the co-host, my awesome team here, Alex and Ryan. So
it's not about us today. It's okay. let's keep talking.
No, most definitely, it's about us. We are so excited. This is the happiest day in Disney Universe Star Wars Month history, and I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, and we before we get on, we do have a little bit of a mousekeeping that we like to do. So of course we couldn't do this on YouTube or on the podcast without some special people. So Alex, who are those special people?
Yeah, well, of course, Captain Hera's got the Ghost crew. We've got the DU crew, and we couldn't do it without you guys. So big shout out to Tyler, Wedge Antilles, John, Alfredo. We got Salah, MJ, Florida Jen, and oh wait, I know I'm forgetting somebody. Jacob was just at the movies with you, Jacob. I'm so sorry. I love all the crew. All 7 of you guys are great. And we'd love to expand the crew. There is plenty of room in our ship. So if you want to join our DU crew, go to patreon.com/DU crew to find out about 2 tiers to join in on the fun.
Yes. Woo! Happy tears. So of course, I think this is actually a great, I'm a fan that fell into Rebels at the very beginning and was instantly hooked on the show. Alex is a fan that came in later on after a certain item showed up in The Mandalorian, kind of caught on. And then Ryan, he's the younger one of us, is still trying to dip his toes in a Star Wars animation, which I know this conversation will help with that. But
Yeah, spoiler alert. I'll try not to ruin anything for you.
I've seen the first 3 seasons of Rebels.
You haven't seen the 4th, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Okay.
the 4th will mow your lawn. Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. So, of course, we're going to be talking about Rebels. And I always got to throw this out because I'm 46. I come from the original trilogy generation, the end of it, and I love the prequels. I love the sequels. I really, really, really like Clone Wars, but I loved Rebels. I connected with that so easily. You guys had what I thought was a perfect voice cast, and we love Disney, Star Wars voice actors. So
totally. Yeah.
Such a great show and such a great crew where we come in a time where, it is very important to have diversity in a main cast, and you guys are so well, and I'm just like geeking out on, we get to the conversation, but each character could have been like Ezra could have been female, Sabine could have been male, Kanan, but you guys had the perfect mesh of the perfect actors at the right time. So I just want to congratulate you. Kudos to you guys, Dave, everybody putting the crew together.
Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah. It was a wonderful cast, and I'm just so impressed and blown away by their ability and insight, and maybe they use the Force, I don't know, to know that we would all blend together so well. I mean, Ezra or Taylor, with his lack of experience with the IP, it didn't matter because his character didn't know it either, and Freddie is such a teacher. He taught us all a lot of things. I wanted to get my bracelet. What would Freddie do?
Yeah.
He's so smart. He's like one of the smartest, most, he's just a Jedi. He's really like forthright. He does the right thing. He's an incredible father. He's such a giving person, and he's just like no nonsense. I have so much respect for him. And everyone really sort of mirrored their roles. And how could they have known that? They did a great job casting it, and we're all still very connected. So it's cool.
Yeah. And I think last year, Alex, you might remember, I think we played Freddie's little, when he was on the podcast talking about the Force and
His
fans.
viral rant. Yes.
The viral rant, which we love. We agree. So, but before, we got into Rebels, like I said, we're all Star Wars fans here. So where does your Star Wars story start?
Well, my Star Wars story starts with episode 4. My parents, I grew up here in Los Angeles. My mom was an actress. She was on Knots Landing in Dallas. Her name is Joan Van Ark. So your parents may have watched Knots Landing. It was a nighttime soap opera, but it was a huge deal. And she was Valine Ewing. So she was, adjacent to like Who Shot JR and all the Ewings of Dallas and all that stuff. And it started when I was 10 years old and sort of exploded and expanded. And my dad, he was a news reporter at NBC for many years. And they met in high school and have been together ever since. But they met at Boulder High School, and the rest of my family is in Colorado. And so for the summers, everyone has to find something for their kids to do during the summer. Oftentimes my parents would just say, go hang with your cousins, which was fine with me. So my aunt took us to see some space opera, and we were all like, what is this? And then poof, right when the destroyer, forget about it. Princess Leia, her hair, the whole thing, the walking carpet, get it out of my way. I was transfixed. I wanted to be her. My hair just wouldn't cooperate. She's more than her hair. It was revolutionary. And even further, Luke's journey throughout 4, 5, 6, and then, we see sort of Anakin and all the things in episodes 1, 2, and 3 subsequently. That hero's journey really is something that I, as an only child, obviously my parents are in the business, that can be seen as the empire. I often felt like, well, I want my mom. My mom's valuing the empire over me. Like, how am I ever going to be more interesting than that? Because she really had an incredible thing. But when Luke is called to, sort of discover what power he didn't know he had, and then of course he is faced with meeting his own father and has mercy and forgiveness and doesn't, he has the opportunity to kill him. He doesn't. There's something so heroic in that I think a lot of times children have expectations of their parents, And look, man, I don't have kids. I'm Space Mom, so everyone's my kid. I love everybody. And if you're ever anywhere and you have low blood sugar, let me know because I got you. I have an entire bag of stuff for you.
Nice.
This is an established fact, and I'm sorry to repeat it if you already knew that. However, I found a sense of family in the story of Star Wars, and I continue to find it as I meet fans who understand how much I love it. And there's something to be said for taking risks, doing the right thing, and being amazed by what we're capable of doing together. And for me, that's what Star Wars is all about. And that's what was reflected in the story of Rebels. And it's what I've come to learn from Freddie, from Taylor, from even Steve and Tia. They've all taught me all kinds of life lessons. And so it's just enriched my life, and I'm beyond grateful. So I have my first Chewie upstairs. It's off card. So I have like the old figures, and I didn't really get into the comic books until later on, but I was a fan of the movies. I remember, I was always like at Mann's Chinese Theater the night it opened, stood in line for days or, hours, depending on the film, and so it's just something that it's not a religion per se, but it is a story of human triumph, or even, alien triumph, but just the power of the desire to do good. And also that there's a sense of balance in each film, obviously from, the Sith to the Jedi. Some movies end sort of in different directions, but that there's always balance with the Force. And that gives me hope on planet Earth to just know that even when times are hard, things will balance out again. So it's just something very sacred to me. So when I ended up getting the part in Rebels, it was such a great fit, and I don't take it for granted. And I just feel blessed to have not only been a part of it, but also that it's ever expanding. I'm grateful for the podcast that we're doing to sort of rewatch and really savor our good fortune, and also the love that we have for the fans. And it's just been great to have that reciprocated and know that, like, I wasn't crazy. I knew that I still wanted to hang with my Star Wars family. So it's just been a wonderful way to do that.
Oh, that's awesome. And, leading into Rebels, I don't want to hog the mic. So I know Alex has some questions too. So go ahead, sir.
I'll jump in. I thought you were going to say something, but
no, I'm just leading into that.
I know you and Joe both coming, having familiarity with the original trilogy coming out, and for you to be in Rebels, which holds such a tight, time frame to the original trilogy, and building out that world and the backstory for everything that's going on in the galaxy at that point in time.
Yeah,
I guess. Was there any specific part of the Rebels story overall, or Hera's story, that you thought was maybe the coolest in relation to what you already knew as a Star Wars fan?
Oh boy. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, it's kind of hard to pick, but what comes to mind, what the Clone Wars did for me, and it's hard to talk about it and not cry because it means so much, but in Rebels, when Snips sees formerly known as Anakin's eyes, and that, oh my gosh, all the feels, that just brought together so many stories all at once. And, it's almost like Luke meeting his father. It was such a moment of reckoning that ripped my heart out, and I'll never forget it. And I've cried the same way when I met Ashley because of that moment when she left the Jedi Order. That will forever be with my soul. That silence at the end of that episode devastated me. Oh, it was so powerful. And that's the power of these stories, that we care about these characters so much that when they come or go or are reunited, that cliffhanger just, whoo, that was intense, man. I needed to kind of get some air after that. That was really poignant. There are other highlights for me when Hera got to fly the B-Wing. A B-Wing, I mean, hello, that's awesome. And furthermore, I know, grab that boy. Yeah.
This B-Wing?
This B-Wing? Wait a minute.
That's winning.
Let's go. Yeah,
Get in
yours
with the
is
B-Wing. Get that hashtag going.
okay. Wait. So, all right, who sent me this B-Wing? Okay. So my dad is a pilot in the Air Force or was in the Air Force, and he currently flies an open cockpit biplane. And he's forever telling me about the value of flight, about the value of perspective. Okay, like you fully unboxed yours, dude. You're like next level professional, dude.
It just slides off, right? It's cool. It's like in a display case already.
Yeah.
I would love to know who sent this to me so I can thank you. Maybe I'll just do a post tonight and say, who in the world sent me this incredible B-Wing? My gosh. Anyway, the B-Wing episode where she talks about the value of flight, I was able to dedicate that episode to my father, and it was a special moment for me with him. And then ironically, the moment when Hera's arguing with Hera Syndulla, seeing him for the first time, so much was fleshed out, when she got so angry that she dipped back into her hometown accent.
Yeah.
Which I thought was not a flex, but it was an interesting choice to drive her point home, that her rage was like so ancient that it couldn't even speak in a neutral accent,
That was something I wanted to bring up too. But for me with the B-Wing, that's one of my favorite episodes. Because growing up, when I saw Return of the Jedi for the first time, I saw it in the theater, and that was the first Star Wars movie I remember seeing in the theater. And things I remember first were Luke's green lightsaber, the Ewoks, and the B-Wing. And then I never had that toy until it came out in like Micro Machines or something like that. So when that episode came out that you were going to test the prototype B-Wing, such an amazing episode.
Sold, right?
The score was perfect. I mean, everything about that episode was perfect. Then seeing the cannons working properly, the tri cannons together,
the whole thing. Plus, Corey Burton played the dude who was like giving me the lowdown on the ship. I'm like, Cad Bane? What? I mean, I know he's the voice, but the voice of Cad Bane, I was like, oh my god, I was freaking out. So it was so good on so many levels. Again, as a fan, for me, experiencing probably the moment when Snips sees those eyes and understands what exactly has transpired there. That is like a million years of heartache. As a fan, for me, that was like devastating. That's akin to the lawn mowing that you'll receive in season 4 of Rebels. But but also the other things were more sort of personally poignant in terms of my relationship with my own father and stuff like that. So
and the other thing that I was going to make when you mentioned when Hera switches accents goes back to, it kind of reminded me, like one thing that really stuck out to me was how great and as an ensemble the acting was in an animated show, because like that whole scene was just like very intense. And then you really feel when you switch accents, kind of the same when Sabine is training with Kanan with the Darksaber, then finally just lets it all out while she's just wailing on him.
Yes.
I'm watching this cartoon like, what the hell? I mean,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot going on, but great acting on your guys' part, which was amazing.
I remember when we first were called in, and I think Simon Kinberg said it when we were at 2014 San Diego Comic-Con, which was so epic. We were inducted into the Mandalorian Mercs, and I lost my mind. But I mean, among a million things that happened that weekend, I made so many new friends. But he said, imagine civil wars. There's civil wars in Egypt. There are civil wars all over the place. But like, what about the people who sat around that first night in a barn somewhere and were like, this is unacceptable. How do we fix this? And actually did something about it and got a network of people and freed people or did the best they could in that regard. Like, imagine being at that's on some video game tip of like, what we can do in a video game perhaps, but, sort of fight against evil or whatever else. And, just to consider those people that met somewhere and we're like, no, this is unacceptable and we're going to do something about it. And I have a friend and they're going to have a friend and then we're going to make friends. And that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
He said, when Princess Leia puts that information, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. We're the people who helped her achieve that moment. And he said, that's why this cartoon is important and impacts episode 4. So anyway.
Yeah. No, and I think that's why it connected with me more. Like I said, I love Clone Wars, but I was really connected with Rebels. And it is because of that direct connection with A New Hope and even, Rogue One, the further the show went along too, which
absolutely
directly to A New Hope.
Oh my gosh. How scary was that? Were you freaking out? I was screaming. I recently watched Rogue One again because I interviewed Mads Mikkelsen at Star Wars Celebration and I wanted to refresh my memory. Man, that thing is you've got Andor that filled it out even more. My goodness. Yeah.
That's where I was just going to go. You're talking about, these first people who start these revolutions. And meanwhile, we've got the Ghost Crew, Fulcrum, and everybody doing it. Andor's on this other side of the galaxy and seeing a lot of what's going on right in Coruscant at the same time. So as a fan, it's going to be cool to put all the 4 BBY, 3 BBY, 2 BBYs together and see what's going on at the same time in different places. Of course, with Andor and with Rebels, we get a lot of great monologues of people kind of making their case for why they're part of this.
Right.
So that's really moving and seeing people. One of the ones in the recent episodes of Andor that got me was when Saw Gerrera talks about you're fighting for something that you will never see. You're so into this that you're fighting for the people who are going to be able to live and reap the benefits of what you're doing. Right. And so that's what makes all these stories so much more moving, because we get to 4, 5, and 6, and we get to see the celebration on all the planets, and that's because of the Ghost Crew and all these people who started the revolution. So that's really cool.
Yeah. It really is important to note that we can make a difference, whether we see the impact of it or not. That it's worth taking the risk. That's really poignant. I think that's such a valuable lesson. Yeah, truly.
And it kind of going to Rogue One, as a Rebels fan, it was so cool to first of all see and hear Chopper rolling around.
Here
in the intercom paging for General Syndulla, which during Rebels wasn't a general yet.
Yes. That was crazy. Yeah. Well,
and then in the Ghost in live action,
Yeah, David Collins, who's a dear friend. I've done ADR with him for a million movies, Rise of Skywalker, I
loved his podcast. So.
Yeah, he's the best. He truly is the best. I adore him, and it was wonderful to be with him in Japan this past celebration. But as I walked in, he was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I improvised a shout out to you when I was doing the General Syndulla report to the whatever," and I was like, "Shut up." I thought he was totally playing me. And I was sitting next to Andrew Kishino, the voice of Saw Gerrera obviously in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, he punched me and I punched him. I was like, dude. And then I felt bad for being rude to David Collins. So I saw Dave after and I punched him and I went, dude. Yeah. Gentle punches. This was not a violent situation.
Yeah, it's friendly punches. And I always had this vision, I wish I was more artistic with drawing, but I have some comic friends, I have some artist friends. I've been wanting to do this view because we don't see Hera in the room when they're, Mon Mothma and Jin and Cassian and all them. But I had this visual of how cool it would be with having the backside of Hera, leaning on a door, kind of like Han Solo, and you see them through the door. I'm somebody's got to make that. So.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, I'm just so grateful to have the opportunity to put to good use my love of such an important story and an ongoing saga. It continues to just satisfy my soul in ways that I could never imagine. So I'm deeply grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah. And man, you can have me talking about Rebels for hours. So I'm going to keep it to myself. One more question, but I don't know if Alex had another Rebels question before we kind of move on.
No, you go Rebels. I have a lot of other things around the universe.
Okay.
I didn't have a question, but just already hearing you talk about the episodes and then Alex kind of pointing out how everything connects, I kind of want to go start watching.
Oh, dude,
a lot of people have come to it, quote unquote, late to the party. I mean, I didn't start Game of Thrones until like season 4, totally late to the party. Didn't affect me in the least. I was able to really get into it. Same thing, but it's not going anywhere. And like, I haven't had a chance to watch the new Andor. I don't like waiting till the next week.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I watched Andor last time back to back because I let it build up. And Mandalorian, I was so thirsty I couldn't control. I was like, I tried to wait till it was all there so I could just mouth through it. But luckily for you, and I think that a lot of people in the pandemic had literally nothing but time on their hands, and 100% were able to just do a deep dive into it. There's so many cool things that Visions. Have you seen the Visions stuff?
Oh, yeah.
I met Justin Leach in Japan. I am so grateful about the Ninth Jedi. I mean, what a great time to be a Star Wars fan. There's so many cool things coming out. It's just never ending, dude. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Speaking of Visions and of course Rebels, in Japan, there was a panel for the 20th anniversary of Star Wars animation, which is super cool. They announced the Ninth Jedi Mall. We've got some new projects. I believe a new Lego Rebuild the Galaxy is coming. But I think I know the answer is to what you said about Clone Wars, but of any Star Wars animation outside of Rebels, do you have a favorite?
Probably Clone Wars. Clone Wars really, I mean, and it's very hard to choose. Visions blew my mind. I have never seen animation like that. And the amount of inclusivity and diversity in terms of using all these production houses from all over the world. If you haven't seen Visions, go watch it right now. It is so fantastic. And it's funny, I was texting Andrew Kishino is in them. And I was like, dude, you have been low key murdering it in this Star Wars anime. I had no idea, dude. He's in the Ninth Jedi. I'm trying to remember the name of his character in the Ninth Jedi. But I mean, and they're doing the Ninth. I mean, the
spinoff. It looks.
Listen, if you have not seen Visions, please do yourself a favor. Put Rebels aside just for a sec. Dive into Visions. Treat yourself. It is such an exquisite exploration of the pieces of the story are all the same, but how they're strained through different cultures and sort of the anime trope that I am not that familiar with, but I was delighted by it. And I mouthed through it in 2 seconds. It was delicious. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, I can't wait for the third season.
To give these famed production houses all over the world the keys to the Star Wars canon, or just making up their own stuff to just see what comes. And then obviously now we get the Ninth Jedi. It was a great idea to do. It was great for us as fans. And I believe we have a third season that'll be coming out in October or so.
This is his character in the Ninth Jedi. I don't know if you can see that.
Let me bring that up.
He's like the mean.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even recognize his voice because he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I was just like, you are low key murderous, like just murderous. And first, this is, when I'm sitting here watching television, texting him incessantly, what about this? Oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, look at this. But here's something funny. In Japan, they have Sonata is the wonderful actor from Shogun.
Yeah.
He all over the subway. And this is Andrew Kishino meeting him. They literally look like they were separated at birth.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Isn't that crazy? So the whole time I was there, I was like, hey, buddy, you're on the train. He's everywhere. But anyway, I love Andrew. And I'm so proud of all the work that he's done. And incredible work. But
yeah,
anyway.
I can't wait for Visions and Ninth Jedi, the Duel. You know, those are amazing.
The Duel, please, killing me.
Yeah, I got the little funk. Well, I'm wearing my Rebels Funko shirt, but I got the Duel came in with the pop and the shirt. I'll go with my. Oh, we lost for a second. I'll go with my last Rebels question.
Okay.
I got to pick through a bunch because, like I said, we can have like a whole marathon of just Rebels talk. But
well, I can also come back. So.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what I wanted to save some for, just in case that happens. So.
Sure, absolutely, I will 100% come back.
I think I will go with. We all know like a lot of these characters were created by Dave and stuff, but how much input did you actually put into Hera?
I think I just put my heart into it. I don't know. I come from the theater, and I also come from an improv background. So if I'm asked, I can improv. But in the theater, the playwright is the thing, and the actors are vessels for the words of the playwright. And we are never to. No one like freestyles Shakespeare, or Chekhov. So as far as I'm concerned, every single word that was chosen is the exact perfect word. So I never thought I had any better ideas than the ones that were on the page. I didn't need to.
Yeah.
It was so easy to perform because it was so on point. And, when Hera speaks in her native tongue, or accent rather, there was a time that Dave Filoni had texted me and said, would she ever speak in her native accent? I said, only if she was mad. And so he asked me that question. And then when we were doing that scene, I had done it as I have performed all the scenes. And then he said, remember that time I texted you? He goes, do that. So I did. And I'm sorry if you heard this story before, but so he would ask my opinion about things. And then institute, I said she'd do it when she was mad. And he said, well, do it now. And then they ended up using that take, which was kind of dope. So
nice.
It was collaborative in that way, but I never came in and was like, well, I got this on lock and I know what you need. Like never. Yeah. I was always there to service them, and they definitely knew best. So yeah.
Oh, very cool. And one more thing about Rebels right now is it's more of a thing that I think is an underrated storyline. But I love the chess match between Hera and Thrawn that was happening during the end of season 3, because I was lucky enough to be able to see Twin Suns and the finale at Lucasfilm to see those episodes on the big screen.
Wow,
was just
that's
bonkers.
Crazy. Yeah,
so just seeing them go at it together, and I thought was just brilliant. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah, there are so many things that just sweep us up, truly.
Yeah. But, speaking of, we're 10 years, a little bit more. Somebody gets an idea to do a Rebels podcast. And there's, like Alex mentioned earlier, who better to do a Rebels podcast than the Rebels themselves? So, tell us a little bit about Pod of the Rebellion.
Yeah. So Pod of Rebellion, I have a friend who is at iHeart, and you may know her, Holly Fry. She is surly girly. She's a very crafty woman. She has a podcast, Things You Missed in History Class, and she's done a bunch. She used to do stuff for Cartoon Network, and in fact, she was behind David Collins' incredible podcast as well. But we had gone to an event together. It was me, Taylor, and Tia, and Dante Brasco was there, and he was like, "Why don't you guys have a rewatch podcast?" Yeah, dude. He said, we're doing our Avatar podcast with iHeart. You should try. And I was like, iHeart? Well, I know Holly. Let me see what I can do. I called her up and she's like, look, I don't know. It's so niche. I don't know if anyone would be interested. And they took a chance on us. And I'm so grateful that they did, because the Star Wars family thing is not just a hashtag. It's real. Most of the people that I saw at Star Wars Celebration were already listening to it. But anyway, we worked out all the tech of it, and we were able to work between Tia and Taylor's shooting schedule. Of all the cast members, Tia, Taylor, and I were available enough with our schedules to make a commitment to be like sort of the main people. And, we had Steve Bloom recently, and we have several other guests who are coming on. Ashley, I believe, is coming on soon. We want to have the different cosplayers on. We want to do a Sabak game with the Sabak League that I'm in. But I wish we could have done that. I know, nerd alert. I wish we could have done that with the episode with Lando. But yeah. But we have all kinds of fun stuff planned, and we will take our guests whenever we can get them. But I was handing out this little card at Star Wars Celebration, and what's cool about it is it has a QR code on the back of it that I don't know. Yeah, I think that's up right. If you scan that, I'll send you a picture of this, but it takes you right to where the podcast is, and you can subscribe. And it's just been a great way to have a good hang with the cast. And then also on social media, we get feedback. And if anyone has any questions that you want to ask, Pod of Rebellion Podcast at gmail.com is the address, Pod of Rebellion Podcast at gmail.com. If you have any questions, cosplay, fan theories, you want to at us, just, holler. We did a couple special episodes where we answered fan questions, and those were some of the most fun, I thought. So we love getting your questions and your cosplay and ideas and fan art. So
yeah, and cause I feel I was prepping for this. I'm like, I'm going to say, as a fan, so many times I could make a drinking game out of it, but as a fan of the podcast, it is a great listen hearing you guys. But then even the side conversations of and I forget your guys' moderator, who's great.
Oh, of course, John Brody. He's Freddie Prinze Jr.'s best friend, and he's a producer. He produced our RPG Star Wars games that we were playing on Freddie's channel.
Oh, nice.
Good evening and good game. And we're trying to put together another Star Wars role-playing game with Sam Witwer as the DM. So get ready for that. Buckle up. Get your safety goggles.
The way he sprinkles in like old retro, just pop culture and sports references into the breakdowns. I mean, even if you're new to Rebels itself, it's just an entertaining podcast to listen to. It flies by. Every episode flies by. So
yeah, and then of course we've got our fact checker, JC Reifenberg, who owns Scum and Villainy. He's amazing, and he schools us on all the things we got wrong, and we can't all be as smart as JC, but thank goodness he's there. So we always learn something, and hardcore Star Wars fans will already know everything, but
as someone who is halfway through the first episode, I am very much looking forward to finding out the history of the term cliffhanger.
Yes. Nice. Oh yeah, it's coming at you. It's coming.
And it took me probably 3 to 4 episodes to realize that it was that JC, because I listen to Fat Man and Beyond, and he usually pops up in there.
Yep.
And so I caught that it was him before the episode where he mentioned, "Oh yeah, I'm Banff Man." I'm like, I knew it before, so.
Yeah, he's great.
Gotta get back to Scum and Villainy too. That place is awesome.
He's a wonderful guy, and he just had another kid, and he's a good dad. I don't know. There's something like when I see good dads, I'm like, respect. I love that.
So what are the kind of like the goals for the podcast? I know we got four seasons of Rebels, but do you plan to go beyond, or?
Well, we'll see what the fans want, but we definitely are hoping to get more guests on the show. We've talked about certain NBA individuals who are huge Star Wars fans. We want to invite them on. There's all kinds of athletes. We want not just to focus on Rebels stuff. We want to talk to other people and what Star Wars has meant to them. I know Donald Faison wanted to come on, and Kevin Smith even.
Who's that guy down in San Antonio who's talking about Star Wars?
Yes, yeah,
he's a big Star Wars fan. That would be crazy. I'd love to. I've seen a couple TikToks of him talking about the prequels. And
100%. So
I'm blanking on his name. #1 pick from last year.
Yeah. Hold on. I got an email about it. Hold on.
The French guy.
Yeah.
There's another dude that my friend. Hold on. I'm finding it. One sec. A friend of mine sent me. Sorry for the email sound, but it's worth it because these pictures are awesome.
Yeah.
Where are you, dude? Raymond sent me pictures. It's a pic of Spurs Wemby.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wemby.
Dressed in Star Wars fan art by JC Texas Art. And he's there with actually, I probably could find it on my phone. One sec.
That's awesome. Yeah, Wemby being a big Star Wars fan and a prequel stan, I don't think anyone had on their bingo card, but age-wise makes sense. And I always think it's cool, sports, movies, whatever.
That's him.
Nice.
Yeah. And he's there with the owner of the Spurs.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's just we really want to unite people who have a love for Star Wars, and I'm sure Emily Swallow will come on. We're friends with a bunch of the Mandalorian folks, and
nice.
It just really touched a lot of people's lives, and that's really what we want to do. We also want to talk to some of the folks behind the scenes at Lucasfilm who don't really get much. Everyone is appreciated, of course. Everyone everywhere that has anything to do with it, we love them, but we want to know more about their backstory. I was grateful. Manny Jacinto agreed to come on. We want to do an episode focusing on Asians in Star Wars, and Tia was very interested in that. And then it was revealed Taylor is part Filipino. I had no idea.
Oh yeah, I heard that in that episode. Yeah.
Yeah, that was bananas. I was like, what? No, had no idea. But anyway, we're all from all over the place.
Yeah, I was just watching on Disney Plus when they have the 24-hour Star Wars channel right now. And I got home from work. I was supposed to do some editing, and the Acolyte was on, and it was the episode 5 where Manny just goes off. I'm like, all right, editing will have to wait. I got to watch some fighty.
To touch on Star Wars Celebration for a sec, what was really special, I was supposed to interview Oscar Isaac, and I had this whole really cool thing about flight and that we both had droids, BB-8 and Chopper. And, I was very keen to find out if Harrison Ford had given him any flying tips, like in real life, because as my father had given me flying tips and, taken me flying and stuff like that. And anyway, he was unable to make it. And I ended up interviewing Sam Witwer. And we discussed all of his roles in the Star Wars universe, all the way back to Clone Wars up until today. And then Manny Jacinto, I got to meet him. And we have been talking about getting him on the podcast because he's also in The Good Place with Tia.
Oh, yeah.
So he agreed to come on. So that's awesome. And then I met Mads Mikkelsen. And, you talked about the chess game with Thrawn. I had never met Lars, who voices the character and also plays in Ahsoka, and he scared me to death. That very melodious, pensive voice made me just no, I'm good. But he is such a sweet dude, and I'm on a text chain with him and the Rebels. I'm like, I'm on a text chain with Lars. And so, I got to, I was saying to Mads, who's played all these various villains, your brother is pretty scary too, but he was a sweetheart in real life, and he's like, he said, no, he's a horrible person or whatever. It was funny, but it was wonderful to get to host. I love hosting and interviewing people, which must be because my father was a news reporter. I love asking people questions and getting to know them. But also I got to judge a cosplay contest with Ashley. And that was amazing. We had a Shogun Darth Vader that killed. There was a mashup Queen Amidala and a Day of the Dead character that just killed. Absolutely amazing. Wonderful. All the costumes were fantastic. But then I also got to do the StarWars.com show for a minute, which was great to just kind of celebrate where we are in the timeline of different reveals. So it's just, it was beyond special. I met so many kind people. Oh, okay. Not to brag, but I did get the Black Series Ronin, have not opened it. I don't know if I open this, I'm forgive me, but I'm too scared to open it, but trust me, it took my breath away. And then of course I came home to the B-Wing, but if I may, Hot Toys, the Darth Maul Hot Toys is so sick.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are we doing live unboxing? Oh. My wife's gonna hate that credit card charge.
Okay, this is for Hot Toys. And again, if you gave me this B-Wing, please at me.
Yes.
Online. And yes, that is me in 11th grade with a mullet. I was
pillows too.
Yeah, dude, let's go. And I do have merch. All the proceeds go to the Trayvon Martin Foundation. If you can't really tell how great it is here. Hold on. One sec.
Oh, I know. I know what I'm doing right after this stream ends.
Woo!
So cool.
Like, you can't tell here. Hold on. Let me show you the picture from Celebration, because I was standing right in front of it. I think you know it's unboxed and you can really get a sense of its majesty.
So you can't really tell from Ryan's lighting in this back corner is his Hot Toys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I see a shelf for Maul right there.
Yeah, this is
so cool.
The figure. Yeah. And it's funny because this picture, that's Sam Witwer's hand.
Yeah.
Right there. He's taking a picture of his figure. It was very meta for me, but I probably should have taken a picture of him there.
I don't know. I think the DU's covering it, but I got a limited Celebration. What year was that? Did we go, Joey? 2019?
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nice. Darth Maul football. They made like 100 of them, and I got him to sign it. So
yeah,
that's so sick.
You got Sam on there too?
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, you got both the Mauls. It's a
just Sam.
Oh, okay.
Well, and at any rate, and then I have this whole bag here with presents from fans.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, there are so many things in here that would just make you cry. I mean, I don't even know. We don't have enough time for me to go through all this. I mean, it was like patches galore. Like I was giving out my
Canadian one.
Yeah, there's all kinds. There's a 501st of Canada. I got cards. I got paintings. I mean, honestly, I feel so honored and lucky to be near so many kind souls. Like, anyway, I keep everything anyone ever gives to me, and this isn't my Star Wars room here. These are all gifts from people as well. But I have a Star Wars room upstairs, but I'll save that for our next visit.
Awesome. And you mentioned just the community, and because of you posted art piece, and I forget the name, but it was the artist did Hera, kind of like in a Japanese style.
Oh yeah, I have that here. Wait, I have it right here. It's Jody Ray Charity. Yeah.
So when you posted that, I had a friend that just happened to be at Celebration.
Yeah.
And I sent her the post. I'm like, because if you're able to do this, I know it's kind of hard, but she's like, so she was able to get it for me.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if you want, I have a couple of these. I could send one to you if you want it. I mean, signed.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay. Well, we'll sort that out. But anyway, it was just lovely. It was just really like a dream come true. And then, stuff that's upcoming, the Tales of the Underworld. I play a news reporter and the mother or a mother in it. I'm not really sure, but I'm so honored that Dave Filoni would call and be like, "Hey, do you want to play a news reporter?" I'm like, "Are you kidding? My dad's a news reporter. Where do I sign up?"
Yeah, exactly.
And I didn't realize it because it had a code name, as they all do.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was. So I was thrilled to hear that I'm a part of it. But anything that has to do with Asajj Ventress or Cad Bane, I'm 1,000% all over it. So absolutely. when that trailer hit at Celebration, I was devastated. I mean, so happy. That would be like if Plo Koon came back from the dead. I would freak out. But
with Dave, it'll probably happen sometime.
No, George said absolutely not.
Oh, well,
and
good then.
He told me to stop asking.
Well,
but anyway,
man, I could do this for hours. And I know we could. But before we go, oh my God, I just lost it right now.
No.
It'll come back to me. But while it comes back to me, I was like I said,
I got a quick one for you. You want a little rapid fire?
Sure.
We've spent this time at Star Wars Month, and obviously love talking Star Wars. But this is the Disney Universe podcast, and we are big Disney parks guys here.
Yes.
Do you go to Disney parks? Which Disney park is close to you? What do you love doing at Disneyland, World, Paris, whatever?
Oh my gosh, dude, I'm all about it. I'm all up in both sides. California Adventure, the other one, I love Disney World. I've been down there for Star Wars weekends. It was healing on so many levels. And when I was when I was in Japan, I was able to go to Disney Sea, which was amazing. But the Tower of Terror is not for me. But everything else is I'm 100% there. Or even that they've changed it to the Guardians of the Galaxy. The like severe dropping things, not so much. But I love me some Dole Whip. I love me some popcorn. I just the whole thing, watching families together doing fun things makes me so happy. So yeah, I'm all about it.
Awesome, and thank you, Alex, because that reminded me the question I was thinking of.
Oh, cool.
You confirmed something that I thought I heard in Smuggler's Run, and
yes, that is my voice. Yes, I was. Yeah, it was fun to also do Hera in Squadrons, video game, the PCAP for that, and also the Bad Batch. I should mention that as part of my journey of discovering what Hera was like as a teenager and how that influenced who she became. That was an incredible journey as well. But having to memorize her lines was like a whole other, thing. I mean, I went to drama school. I went to Princeton for undergrad and NYU. I have a master's in acting. And the plan was to go into on-camera acting. I had a part on Scrubs. If you Google it, it's pretty funny. I'm wearing like gym shorts and I have really short hair. It's a pretty butch version of me. Playing basketball with Donald Faison and Zach Braff. But anyway, I am very grateful to have been swallowed up into the world of voiceover. So all is well. Yeah.
And for our listeners and viewers, can you let them know where they can hear you in Smuggler's Run?
Oh, sorry. Yes. So
no. I love
that. Smuggler's Run is at Disneyland and Disney World. If you're on the Falcon, I actually say in Spanish, siéntese, por favor. I can't read Spanish. I can only speak it. Don't ask. I learned it with my ears and not. I probably screw up masculine and feminine tense and this and that, but. I said to them, I'd love to do the Spanish for you because they asked me if I could read it. I was like, but I literally cannot read this at all. So they would say it and then I would say it perfectly and understand it. It's just I don't have experience reading Spanish. I only listen and speak it. But yes, if you do the Smuggler's Run ride, you will hear me interacting with Hondo and talking about a hunk of junk. And it is not Hera. It's just an engineer.
Yeah.
So.
But hearing tones and with your interviews and stuff, that's why I didn't get Hera, but I'm like, I heard what I've heard on, Star Wars Weekly and my, other.
Yeah, I do. I have friends have sent me videos and stuff. I could probably find them, but yeah, people be like, is that you? Yes, that was me.
Well, awesome. Well, I just want to say I have Hera on my Mount Rushmore of Star Wars pilots.
Oh, thank you.
Between Han, between Poe and Anakin, Hera's a badass. One of my favorite all-time Star Wars characters. I've been saying that for years. So this is awesome having you on, and I would love to do this again. Would love to run into you at Celebration sometime in LA.
Yes, you have to, and Disneyland, all the things. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And there will be other things that are announced, and when they are, I'll come back on.
Oh, awesome. And we will continue to share Pot of Rebellion as, like I said.
Awesome. Thank you. So, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. So thank you for joining us, closing out Star Wars month. And I guess we'll just end this with May the Force be with you all.
May the Force be with you always.
The people who make Star Wars movies really listen to you. We really do. And it might feel like we don't hear you or you're screaming into a void sometimes, but we make these things for that feeling. We want you all to be sitting in the dark in a room and these movies come on and you feel the hope, you feel the togetherness, you feel the community. And a lot of times, especially nowadays, there are so many things that are put on screens to separate us. And we have this special universe. We have these special movies. We have these characters. We have these people that bring us all together. If you look around this room, this is what the world looks like. And we're all here for one reason. We're all here because we feel so good about being a part of this galaxy far, far away.